Morning, सबको मेरा नमस्कार. This is International Master and FIDE Senior Trainer Sekhar Sahu welcomes you on behalf of Sports Authority of Gujarat and Gujarat State Chess Session to this intermediate training session. Morning, सबको मेरा नमस्कार. So I will be continue with the discussion of classic games. Today I will complete all remaining games of Smyslov I have selected and I will start asking. First, let us see some 7 games of Smyslov. Hello, Deepika Modi, Suresh Bhai Chawda, Basal Parik, Veerbhadra Singh. Yeah, good morning. This particular position, white is Grandmaster Salo Floor and black is Smyslov in Moscow 1951. So the game started d4, knight f6, c4. It is a Nimzo-Indian defense. Very reliable and solid opening report hai. Other main line is to play e3, bishop d3, knight f3. The main line is e3, bishop d3, knight f3, castle. So this is white wants to avoid double pawn. One of the strategy of black is to give black white double pawn and knights are better. But here white is avoiding that. Alternately, black has many moves. He can play c5 is a good move, castle is a good move, b6 is a move. But here decides to play d6. I think the bd2 move is not good. The idea is to the bishop is passively placed here. It was rather more active at bishop g5. Anyway, it's a matter of taste. Salo Floor was very good in endgame technique and very good in positional play. Originally, he was from Czechoslovakia, Czech Republic, but because of his chess strength, he was given a place and all support in the Soviet Union, and he settled there. The position of white is passive. Actually, if you see at the moment, white should continue d3, bg2 castle. As in the game, white Anatoly Karpov, black is Spassky. After the move c5 should capture pawn takes c5. Now d3, bg2 castle is more prudent, not so good. Bishop d2 is very passively placed. This is a very risky business, One must feel safety about his own king. Now, okay, I will flip the board. Let me flip the board. Okay. Now, you may ask me, what is the danger? Now, black can attack only if he can open file and make a pawn break. Now, the only pawn break available is to play a6 b5, which is not easy because white has 1, 2, 3 controlling this. So, it is very difficult. Even if you play a6, rook b8, still b5 is not coming. So, white feels very safe because black cannot easily open a queenside file. And white has plan now. White wants to play h3, g4. White's plan, he can open up the game. He can play h3, g4 and then attack. Or he can even give a pawn free. He can give a pawn free also or to open the file. So, it appears strategically white looks well poised. White's conducive is very good. Black looks, but black has a wonderful plan. What is the black plan? You will be amazed to see. This is the quality of the great players. You know, ever since the engine came to existence, they put the games of all world champions into you feed with the engine and find quality. You will be surprised to know. Hello, Subankar Sarkar, Clara Alonso. You will be surprised to know that according to engine, the maximum correct moves from all the world champion. It was Smyslow. Right from Steinitz to Carlson. They put right from Steinitz till Carlson. All the world champion. Carlson is more close to Smyslow. He was playing the correct moves in a given position. Now the position is when there are opposite side castle, both will try to attack each other. That is the trend. Now, how can black attack? So black finds an amazing resource. Amazing resource. What is the plan? You cannot have a break. But imagine that okay, I move the bishop. The plan is I want to bring the bishop back. Then I will play pawn a5 and at right time. Idea pawn at a5, knight at b4. If you capture, I will open the a5. Rook will enter. And if you do not capture, where the queen is going to go? So instead of making the pawn break, Smyslov prepares that idea very interestingly. First, he complete development. Development. Now, as I told you, white is preparing to attack g4, g5, h4, and white attack is really coming. Anything you do on the king side, black is bad. So, rook center. No problem. The threat has come. The threat has come on h7. You can't play all this. You can't play. So, closing. Now, the white plan is he must bring a knight. I mean, the knight, like a Sicilian defense dragon, many times you bring a knight. Suppose knight is coming or the knight is coming to g3, then black is uncomfortable. Then you white will play h4, h5. Knight will go to g7, h4, h5. So idea, he wants to he wants to play knight attacking, and when the knight comes here, the attack will start h4, h5. This is the plan. Now let me tell you decision making, judgment of a player. Actually, black has the attack. As I told you, the unique plan of black is to play a5 and dump the knight on b4. So black needs more pieces for attack. Suppose you exchange, white is more comfortable here. The attack will not come. So good judgment, controlling the central square. This is that move. Dump the knight. You have a problem now. You have a problem because if you come to D line, bishop a4 is coming. You cannot come to D line. And if you come ace a4, queen will be trapped. A4. So, and you take, then a5 will open. So, yet it is a unique plan. I think this is practically forced. There is a little choice. The queen has no good move. Queen b3, queen gets trapped. Queen d2 will discover. And if you come here, then I will play maybe bishop to a4. Bishop a4 is good. This is dangerous. So, he decided to accept. No problem about it. No problem. This is only a spite check. No problem. Check. Only move. You cannot play. You cannot play rook into queen check. The only move. But then check. I mean, discover check. It's all over. He must lose heavily. Material lost and game is lost. There is nothing. If you move the king, simply I will play a bishop into. You have no time to take my bishop. I will take it. If you play now, I will take bishop takes. Bishop takes. Yeah, it should win because bishop takes, rook into rook check is coming. It is all over. And if you take rook into rook, simply queen will move out. So this is all hopeless position. And he played knight, but then rook into, and now this is gone. You are going to lose, getting better. The queen is attacked, the knight is lost. You will end up losing material and losing the game. Lost. The pawn will fall. The easy inning. This pawn also will fall. This pawn also will fall. A decisive game. So he found the plan that you have to feel the safety of the king. You know, this kind of moves, this is the dubious move. But only if black finds this plan of a5. This is the plan. a5 and idea knight d3. Fantastic idea. Meher Chaudhary, Nakshar Zala, welcome. So the whole point is, when there is opposite side castling, you need to find a way to attack. Sometimes a player gives 2 pawns, 3 pawns, a piece, just to open up the position. I would say the game between Korchnoi and Stein. This is middle game idea. Okay. Hello, Subankar Sarkar. Yes, Meher Chaudhary, Akhtar Zala, all are good. Okay. This is basically why classics are important, because they are playing strategy at the highest level, and they are using all their experience from the past masters. You go to Fisher, he will say, he studied Chinese, Capablanca, Alekhine, and all these players, Botvinnik. You know, when you go to Karpov, Kasparov, they played all the past masters games. So it is very important to understand the classics. Suppose you study a classic game. Okay, I'm studying. I must not just go through and say, okay, I must convince myself. Yes, this is a good move. Why this is a good move? Till you understand, do not ask quickly. Okay. It is very important to understand the idea behind the move, the strategic depth concept of the player. Till such time, don't leave the game. Let it be 1 day, 2 day. You must be convinced, yes, this is the move, this is the idea. Just don't copy. So, for example, here, let us say the game of Leonard Stein versus Stein Leonard, Victor Korchnoi. No? Okay, maybe I'll go other way around. KORTSH. No, this is just base is funny. You have to type the exact spelling. You have to type the exact spelling of the player. Otherwise, it will not. So, black was Stein. ST. Yeah, look here. Now, opposite side castling. King's Indian, there are two lines which are really dangerous. One is the classical main line, knight f3, b2 castle. The other one is f3, b3 or bg5 and queen d2. I mean, this is the plan of white. White goes straight forward. And in the hands of Boris Pasky, Victor Korchnoi, Jan Timan, lot of good victories for white was found. Especially Boris Pasky, a great exponent of the Samist attack. White has a clear-cut plan. Want to castle long and storm the king side pawns. The timing of attack. Timing of attack. So here, now both will castle, means opposite side castling. Now, who will attack whom? In order to attack, you need to open files and diagonals. So, trying to double up. Here's a problem now. You capture with the pawn or capture with the knight. You capture with the pawn. No, you capture with the pawn here. Then, if you play, then the bishop remains passive. Knight f4 will come. No activity. So, at least he captures. So, idea, he wants to come here and enter to the big square of black. That means you have to play h6 is not possible. How are you going to stop it? So this is the way. I want to take the white square bishop. Now you get time. You get time. So you play ng5. I'm going to play h6. You play ng5. Maybe I will play knight into d5 also. So he has pushed back. Now it is a critical moment. What are you going to do? Black is not afraid. Black is not afraid of losing the pawn because then total control of diagonal and time. So you need to open a file b5. Even though there are no sufficient support, take the pawn whichever way you like. You may take pawn into pawn. You may take knight into pawn. Now notice it is when there is a queen side, I mean opposite side castle. It is a race. It is like a race. Who comes faster? White attacking black or black attacks white? Both will try to storm pawns, sacrifice, open fight, diagonal. So here, race, I open. If you play pawn push, I am going to offer another pawn. Another pawn. So I will force open a file. B6, CB6, force open. This is good. C file has been opened up. I have opened a file. That itself is a good way to operate. Good position. So you cannot play pawn into. That means you have to take knight into. So I want to put pressure. The threat, simple threat I am giving is knight into pawn. I want to give simple threat of knight into pawn. So that take bishop into b5. You are welcome. This will help black only. Now the speed to open up. Welcome. This is suicidal. You take the pawn, it is suicidal. So no problem. Another pawn. Now he is inviting you take the pawn and play queen into. Now, if you play normal moves like knight, I will play pawn into pawn and open the file. So, pawn into pawn. Queen takes pawn. So, two pawns down. Naturally, you will avoid queen exchange, queen to e8. Now, black is very open. You see, the pressure on the diagonal, this one in the diagonal, this is in the file. This is now f5, f4 in the air. You know, there is this rook also putting pressure in the line. So, all this thing, white cannot cope up. And that he has done before completing the development of white. White has not even completed the development. Black is ready. Idea rook coming to d7. Idea rd7. Idea, this is the idea rd7. You cannot take it because our check will come. Rook d7, queen c5 means bishop f8. Very fast attack is coming. Another beautiful move. There is, you should have taken the pawn. This is player cannot calculate. You know, when you are attacking, it is not easy to defend. It is easy to find attacking moves because the defender has to calculate more variations, and that too in a given time control. So pawn into pawn was more tough, but he played queen c3, and it is lost. The queen cannot keep running; it is gone. The idea you get out queen, then queen will come to e5 and then mating attack. So you have to go queen a5. No other good square. Queen a5. The alternative fg4 is bad. Then this gone. This gone. So he plays queen a5. Suppose here queen a5. Are this is have I gone this wrong? So bishop here near. He took it. Queen a5 is bad. Here queen a5. Rook into f3 is plus. Minus plus. And take and queen e5 is winning. Take queen e5. Finish. Too much of attacking the bishop, d2 check, killing. Okay. So hello, Parvat Thakkar and Sekhar Sahu. So this is just an example of opposite side casting. In Sicilian the Sicilian dragon normally it takes place, or Velimirovic attack of classical Sicilian. Let's take to Myslov. So this is called the London system. You know what is the idea? Now, if you play e6, the bishop c8 remains blocked. So he wants to develop. So there are two choices. You can play g6, g7 castle, which will lead to King's Indian position, King's Indian classical position. Or you have a choice to play e6, a Queen's Gambit or Catalan will come. Catalan, d4, c4. This will be good. White will be better. I will play d4, b7, c4, some castle, then knight c3, c6, knight e5. This is good. Or you take pawn into pawn, knight e5. Catalan is slight better for white. I will discuss all these things. Catalan, Caro-Kann, there has been request. I am going to discuss. So here decided to play London system. This is called London. Idea E6, E6, H6, B7 and castle. It's a solid setup. Nothing wrong with that. And here Smyslov comes up with a very good rejoinder. Castle. I think this is not the best way. It is correct to play E6. E6 is a correct quicker. You know. Here, then I will play D3. You will play H6. This is important to save the bishop. You want to save the bishop. So h6, so that if knight h4, bishop will go away. So this is how it should be played. But this move is not the best way. Well, it was 1953. The openings were experimented solid. So the bishop diagonal is closed. How should white play now? Hello, Marth Godani. What should white do now? What is the plan? Let me tell you actually that chess has a resemblance with many sports. Chess has a resemblance with many sports in real life. I always, when I play chess, no, I always uh, think of football, soccer game, or a kung fu fighter, sword fight. पलक झपकते ही कट जाता है. In soccer game, when you have a ball, you take the initiative. You grab the ball, you run to the goal post. You grab the initiative at the first opportunity. So, in a boxing match or in a sword fight, I mean sports I'm talking, not real sport fight or anywhere, it is like cutthroat. A slight mishap, you look somewhere, your concentration lost, game is lost. So you grab the initiative. So grandmasters now they learn, even it is much more even modern time. They grab the initiative at the first available opportunity. Now white grabs the initiative. But how? There is you Veerabhadra Singh say for e4 back, white should play NBD2. There is no need for NBD2 now. E4 break comes now. No need to play NBD2. No need to play. in his place. The other plan is to play some queen e1 and then e4 and e4. This is another plan. Queen e1 is another plan, and e3 queen e2 another plan. So nb d2 is necessary. And now e4. Even though he has got three, one, two, three, watching the square, watching the square. Still, the point is this is unprotected at the moment. So white takes advantage of this and gets the break. Gets the break. For example, in the normal course, what would have happened? In the normal course, suppose the game continues like this, e6. Now d3. Now you play here nd2. Now d3, d3, and you play h6. Now a knight d2. So everything is protected here. Bishop e7. Now you need to get a break. How will you get a break? So the correct move is rook e1 or queen e1. Queen e1 is correct because this point needs to be protected. If you play something, then there can be trouble at this point. Some bishop c5, knight g4. So here queen e1 is the correct move. Idea, I am going to play e4. You castle, then e4 will come. You go back, now queen will come. White is all set. White is having a better position. But in the given position, the move order of black, this knight d7 is not correct. Now e4. Because I am going to get a tempo. After the move, a tempo is coming. Now knight into pawn, I am going to get a tempo. Here, a tempo. Double attack. Double attack and there is an attack. If you try to defend, white will have a positional advantage. White will have a positional advantage here. Because bishop pair and better center and also the files are open. White will give trouble to black. Okay, how I am going to handle the position? Let me see. Let's see. I believe that this correct move here, very normal and good move here. This is the correct way. I am going to now play bb2. Controlling d4, then queen e2, rook d1, e1. My plan is to play bb2, queen e2, then both rooks to d1, e1. Fantastic position. Black will find very uncomfortable with queen, e7 pawn. Let us say you play e6. You can't play g6. This is bad. So you play e6. Now bishop here. Now there is a problem now. You can't play this. There is some problem on g7 is coming. That means you need to play knight. Okay. Then maybe here queen e2 is good move. This should be good for white. Good compensation. Okay. So this should good. Anyway, I'm just giving an example. It is not didn't happen. But we don't want to give the bishop. So here if this knight into. Now we have compensation that one pawn we have got. Idea, you cannot play g6 now. Knight e6 will come. So he wants to castle queen side and run away. The pawn up. Oh, we should do everything stop him from smoothly developing. If we are not playing actively, white, black will consolidate. Just need 2-3 moves. One careless move, everything will be set. So we should keep black under pressure. No castle. f7 under attack. Okay, now if you play some move like knight coming there, here, preventing, how am I going to put pressure? One of the plan, I want to start storming the queenside pawns. Another plan that I want to play bishop to. No, no, I think rook e1 is correct because b4 is coming now. After now, I want to stop. So maybe here, I think rook e1 is correct. Rook e1 is correct. Now you castle, there will be problem because I thought of stopping castle with bishop. Now b4, okay. What I am going to do now? I think knight f5 is very powerful now because the threat will come now. That means you have to surrender. Now bishop e5, the king will be caught and this is bad. It's giving lot of problem. Bishop into knight is bad, giving the double bishop and open game. Now e6 is bad, b5 will come. So this kind of problems he is facing. In the game, he played here e5. White is better. What should white do now? Good morning, Amita Mehta. Hello, Nitin Chess and Mukund Agarwal. What should you do? Please participate. How should white take advantage of the position? Yes, Manish Radia, good morning. Can you suggest me how should white take? Somebody suggest me how should you make plan for white? White has good position. White development is better center and more open lines control. What should you do? King is the target one. The pieces are not coordinated yet. Yet not developed. They are not developed yet. Good move. Very simple threat he's giving. And I want to, if you do this, the diagonal. The idea that if you play b6, ba5, b6, then the diagonal becomes very powerful. So, very well played. Now you should not weaken knight b6. Okay. There is position as, I mean, black knight is pinned and passive. So, there are ideas you can prepare for c4, c5. You know one. You can prepare to enter the queen to this point by queen coming here to enter one. These are the ideas. I'm talking, these are the ideas. You can exchange a pair of rook. So you take the file. This is one. So these are the ideas. You need to see which is the priority. Priority. So I think attack on the queen side. Pieces are looking that side. Yeah, queen side attack. But the whole point is this is beautifully played. Knight coming this side. If you play knight here, it is not great. It will after pawn f6. I don't think any great achievement will come. So knight f5 is nothing. So this is the correct strategy. And now, and he plays c4. c4, idea c5. c5. Now this is bad. The code uncoordinated pieces. I want to enter, as I told you, the plan that I want to enter to f7, a weak square. Pressure on the g7 should come. Good move. So after the move, queen. Going away from the pin. Well, whatever you do, it is bad now. Now if you go retreat the rook, I will simply play rd1. Simply rd1. Suppose you retreat the rook. Then rd1. Then I will play rook into rook. My plan is to play rook into rook, then bring another rook, then give a check, and then this is anyway it is my man. I will then enter the rook 7. I want to exchange the rook, take the d line, give a check, and then enter the d line. d7. The pieces are uncoordinated. Very clear cut, simple plan. Exchange, take the file, give a bishop check, and enter. So he plays here g6, which is bad. Queen e2 back. Threat. The idea now, this is all awkwardly placed, blocking both pieces. So traffic jam. Threat bishop. Actually, I am not intending, but this is the pressure. I will take the pawn. So he plays king. He says, welcome. No, I am not interested. Now I want to force open. I want the rook should take. I want this one. My rook should come. So attack the rook. You cannot do this. The d5 pawn. If you block, what about e5? What about e5? So only move. Enough. I achieved my target. Now white has got the d file and the rook will enter the seventh rank. It is all, I mean, coffin. Black's coffin is now ready. I think attack. Okay. Defend e5. You better defend e5. If you don't, if you want to save the rook, only move. Forced only move. There is no other move. Now threat, knight check, only move. King has to move. White to play and win now. A series of active moves you have done. You have done a series of active moves. What would you do now? If you see the game, recently played game, White was Vladimir Artemev. All of you will know. A young player, maybe 22, 23, and 27, 50, 60 rating. He played with Magnus Carlsen and gave two minor pieces for rook and a pawn. Suppose you sacrifice two minor pieces for rook and two pawn, it is equal in endgame. So here, black, white, yes, what is that? Irvadra, you are right. So here, sacrificing two minor pieces. This is a typical Tal use this tactics. Now the king position will be compromised. Here, when I sacrifice, my rook will enter, and then I take it and take it the pawn. So I am going to get two pieces for rook, and then one pawn or two pawn, and bad king. So player should consider knight into pawn. Fantastic move. Initiative. Let the keep the ball rolling. Football. You pass, goal. Now it is like that Maradona from the center. He took the ball all the way to goal. I like that. I like football match. I don't know how many of you, because I was a football player. Till today, football is my, after chess, football is my second love. I always watch top football matches. I like boxing matches. I like sword, kung fu, all related to sports. Now this is finishing. One, take, check, force. I think the game is not defendable anymore. The game is hopeless now. Now rook into, this is one threat. This is a second threat. I don't think any defense is coming. You defend now. How are you going to defend c6? Over. Mate हो जाएगा. अभी anyway the mate is following. White square problem. So again he grabbing the initiative, putting pressure. Now this is important to realize. Okay, this is very nicely handled. So London system, of course, I will tell you here. In f3 here. In this is a good move. With the idea e6, h6, b7 castle. Also, you can play bishop g4. This is also a possibility. Rating. Now, suppose you play castle. I can even give this one. I can play this also. This is also okay. Now d3, c6. Now bishop d6, castle center for black. This is possible. This is a solid line. Now normally d3 and c6. The bishop diagonal is closed and black will play knight d7 and d6 or e5 and castle. This is also another possibility you should take into account for black. Okay, I leave this. Okay, center. So white is playing also correct with the idea d4 for the center. I think this does not suit. You have to play. You cannot mix up. You should play d4 and black will play maybe d5. It is a semi-terrace. Standard line, white is marginally better. This is how it should be played. But mixing up things, not correct. The position is still, I would believe it is equal. Here, the rook c1 move, here rook c1 move is not the correct move. It was better to play rook e1. This is a better way to play. But he played this knight. Now, to protect the pawn, bishop has to go passively. Now you have to protect the pawn. So bishop must go back now. So white has landed in a passive position. Threat. Idea knight into knight and a2 pawn. So a3 is necessary. This is why the rook c1 move was not good move. This is why this rook c1 is not good move. So knight into knight is bad anyway. This will land passive position for white. So forced, forced. Now I would say the game has become now little better for black because this is a place for a minor piece. The e5 place, bishop or knight, especially knight. Now this is not great. Now Keres was a master of attack and piece play. Keres is now going to double the rook and looks very good. This rook is coming here and the queen will also join the battle against the king. It looks good, but there is a very good defensive resource. And now white played this. Is anything wrong with the position? Is anything wrong? This I want to ask you who is better here. Then only I will comment. Please find out the position. Okay, I flip the board so that you can think. Now in this position, he has played rook here. So who is better? It is not easy to make a decision It is not easy to make a correct evaluation. Hello, good morning, Parth Kuntal Raval. No, no, no. You cannot play GH5. GH5 is not correct. Not correct. You know, the position, if you I mean, accept the rook, it is really dangerous. For the rook, black has bishop. Black bishops are also there to join the attack. So queen will come, and it is really dangerous. In the post-mortem analysis, it was discovered that if you take the rook, that black will be able to hold it. Still, he can draw the game. But in a given tournament game, a player cannot calculate all the variations. Post-mortem analysis showed that you can take the rook, but black can say it will be a draw. That why you want to draw? Black is better. Black position is better. Why? Because if the attack fails, then what they are doing here? If the attack fails, they will be badly placed. So, in order to beat the attack, you are not compelled. This is not a force move. So, I will now use my resource exclamation. How to defend the position is art of defense. Please find out. Maestro played the perfect move. Now everything will change. Everything changes. I recommend you to see the game Mikhail Kobalija versus Dubo. Kobalia versus Dubo. In that game, you know, Mikhail Kobalija was a rook down. He was going to attack, but Dubo defended amazingly. This is what I say, that attack and defense, you have to master this art. And while attacking, while defending, your nerves must be very cool. You should not be excited. You should not calculate one variation and leave. You must see the application. Now, what is the difference here? What is the difference here? Now, when you take the rook, this is the target point, right? When you take the rook. Now, by making pawn into pawn, he is now playing rook into. Now, why this pawn into pawn is not working? Why this is not working? I take. Now, when you take, the bishop is joined. The bishop joins. Abhi, now bishop will come here. End of the initiative. So, you have no time. You have no time to take pawn into pawn. ये मारने को टाइम नहीं है. बिशप आ जाएगा. ये मार के बिशप आ जाएगा अभी. So, take. Now, the bishop is watching the squares. So, you don't need to worry. So, there is a time. Intermediary move. Bishop c3 unplayable. Rook c3 will come. Now, he plays queen. Idea, the queen is coming. And now ये तो गया. ऐसा लग रहा है. No. The main problem is this is the square. He wants to mate. But then queen takes pawn. So I have got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Covering up the squares. खत्म हो गया अटैक. अब आया तो बिशप g7. चल रुक आया. Good move. Rook, good move. Bishop g7, good move. Queen f6, good move. Now the attack is beaten back and the pass pawn will decide the issue. Pass pawn will decide. Pawn on the 7th house, and now this is coming here. Now it is a matter of time and execution. Attack. Why attack? Because this square is being watched by 2. So I want to queen go leave the square. So then rook can enter. Attack. Finish. Because now by playing f4, the queen check will come. Now check. He should lose now because the new queen will come. Game over. So you can see everything changes. Now mechanically ऐसा नहीं सोचना है कि ये आया pawn push and now the attack is coming. But I think that it is acceptable. In the book Zurich 1953, Bronstein gave a good analysis of the diagram. I don't remember all that, but it was proved that black can take the rook and still can defend. But he simply took this pawn into everything is over. You have to now play rook into pawn and intermediary party finish. Hello Tirtha, how are you? God bless you. Yeah, nice defense. Art of defense counter attack by Smyslow. Wolfgang Unziker, East German Grandmaster. That time, now German is one, towards this, East German and West German, two parts. Okay, it's a classical way. So, an interesting idea. Normally, black's counter attack comes by ND7 and then E5. This is the standard way to play. You play C4, ND7 or NC6, not normal moves. But this move is interesting idea. You want to play E5, welcome, my friend. I will take and you will be answerable for the diagonal. You will be answerable. So B3 idea. You E5, you will prepare E5, welcome. Now recover the pawn. The correct move is to play knight G4. After knight G4, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, and you will get the pawn. And white is marginally better here. Marginally. Plus equal. But black made a bad move. Bad. Idea. Black's logic is anyway I will win the pawn. Anyway, because here the in knight G4 the bishop is blocked. Here you cannot do knight F4 is coming. And now 3 you cannot get a second, third support. 3 attacks and you are going to win the pawn back. But there is a problem. There is a problem. Such positions now Smyslov punished for not playing the correct NG4. He played, you take the pawn, then I will create lot of threats there. Taras formula now. Taras. A knight cannot return easily. Because now this point I am going to attack 1, 2 are there and this is coming. Taras formula. I will keep that knight bad, another knight bad. I want to seize the D file now. Forced. Now this is badly placed. This is badly placed. This is also not good. And if you come queen here, I will play knight and again giving a threat. Threat. Whatever you do, it is bad. Anything is bad. You play c5, then d5, there is a hold. If you try to close, d5, d6 will be very bad. So he tried to put pressure on the point. Now, excellent move. What I want my knight to go to this point. So this is the idea. I want to enter. So I want to decoy the queen to bad square. Decoy. Jao queen. The only move. And now the knight enters. The reason is bishop takes pawn is unplayable. Knight check, knight आएगा, एक piece चला जाएगा. This is the whole idea. You cannot take the pawn, and now the knight is entering, and that is all over. अभी जैसा कि गोल पोस्ट के पास 3-4 ओपोनेंट का प्लेयर आ गए, पास 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 एंड गोल. रेडी हो गया अभी. Now देखो the defect of the knight. Defect of the knight now. Okay, other moves are bad. You take knight g5 is winning. I told you. So only move knight. You capture, it is bad. Now c7 you are answerable. So you have to capture. There is no good move. Take c5. Obviously. Now backward pawn and ready made. White has all advantage. Bishop pair, c file, and center. First of all, this is bad pieces. Two bad pieces for black. ये पोजीशन 12 का भाव में गया. 1 to 12. क्या करेगा अभी? कहां जाएगा? Queen f6 is miserable. Rook c1. So he depends. Now I put pressure. I want some move like this. You cannot return. He was trying to improve the piece. Simple pressure. I want to double on the D line. And now you can't play C6. White to play. Find out. Ball is near the goal post. You strike. Or you can say basketball. Basket or football. Whatever. Both games I like. Veerabhadra ND2. No. Veerabhadra. You see, there is no need of positional chess now. There is a tactical finish. There is a tactical finish. There is no need of positional chess. Not ND2. ND2 looks good to me. Yeah, it is a good move. ND2 is a very good move. ND2 is a good move. Rook C2. Idea, rook double into the point. ND2 is a good move. This is also good move. Idea knight C4, knight A4, knight F5. It is also positional, it is good move. But my main target is this. I will play and force the rook here so the bishop can always end. So rook C2, double. Only move rook coming. Now the two rooks are in the line. This is a target. That means this A4. Why A4? Now I want to start advancing on the queen side. Bishop A3. The position is now well poised. The bishop is watching this one indirectly. The rooks are watching this one indirectly. This is there. This is there. And who is the defender? This is the defender. Now deflect the defender. That bishop S3 comes, queen into S3, bishop into game over. Yes, knight comes back. Now here he comes, knight comes back. Bishop S3. Well, even if you notice, you cannot do anything. Okay, you notice my threat is bishop S3 and bishop D6. Defend if you can. No good defense. Find out if you can defend. Find out. My threat is simple. I want to play this. I want to play. My plan is to play this move and then take the bishop. Knight. You defend if you want to defend. How will you defend? Cannot defend. Even if you see the idea. So he played knight, bishop s3, must take, bishop into, it's all over. I like the way he has prepared very solidly, safely, and that is never gave an opportunity. Series of correct moves, you know. So modern day stockfish will play. I think he is now at a highest level. He is playing one bad move. He never gave a chance. One bad move. Here in G4, chances are roughly equal. But this bad move, series of threats. Well, might have fate was maybe more prudent. But anyway, this is so B6 was prudent, but he just developed. But this is lost. I leave now. Welcome Adi Jain and Vishal Thakkar. Ludek Pachman. Ludek Pachman was a good strategist. He has written a lot of good books and chess articles. He has his books. Middle game book is very famous. Ludek, middle game. Not many books were written. So Ludek Pachman's book really was good. I learned a lot from his writings and books. So and he has written a lot of good books on opening and end game. Very nice author, Pachman. But he is meeting a technician. Standard moves. Today, I saw Magnus Carlsen plays this also. All top players, they like this variation. Pawn into pawn, bg5. Kasparov beat Nigel shot convincingly. With the idea, bishop d3 and ne2. Kasparov variation. I think this is bad. First bad move. The main issue that you have to play bishop f5. That is no need to weaken the position. You can play b7, bf5, all these things. So here queen c2 was stopping bf5 plan. This is more correct way to play. But after the move bf5 should come. But he played this h6 bad move. Everything looks all right. Now the defect of the move, a tempo comes. Where the queen is going to go. On bg4, bishop f6 will come. And if you return the fracture, the pawn structure will there will be a fracture. Very bad position. That means you need to retreat. You need to retreat. Then I will press 3, g4, castle. All this attack will come. This is the point. White will castle now with start a storm on the king side. So here black says queen f3. He says, my friend, your weakness here. So queen b6. Idea now if you castle, I will allow the fracture. I will allow the fracture with support on the counter attack on the king. Now if you castle, then I will play bishop to g4. So what are you going to do? How to solve the problem? He wants to take the pawn and a check is coming. After taking the pawn, attack and attack, check will come. Welcome Khanak. Hello Sritunandi. Anna Azmera. The modern masters will find it very quickly. In a given position, potential checks and captures. Now, it is very simple calculation. I will take your piece, you will take my pawn. Rook attack. Then I have a check here. And then the king has only one square to go. That is the point. Now, takes, check. King is now this is under attack. Under attack and under attack. But the resource is that knight is pinned by the bishop. So a check will come and queen will return the defense. All over. Knight check. Forced. Unless you want to get mated. You have to take. End of the initiative of black and the hopeless bad block. Bishop is blocked and this very bad situation. Real equal but not good. So only move. If you exchange queen, the rook's threat will come. So only move. I don't want to exchange queen now. Queen exchange will be solving the problem. I mean, even though black is cramped, he will get some time. So queen on the board, the king's heart, there is a chill in the king's heart. black king will be shivering. Winter time hai. So very, very, very cold and shivering. So I all this thing no problem. In a one Benko Gambit variation, I will show you. The king makes a walk like that. In one variation of Benko Gambit. Now D3 beats king G2. Slip. The king will slip now to G2. Sweet home. Sweet home. No danger now. No white square bishop. No minor piece. Then just the king is very safe now. It's all. Now bad king. No development. So how many weakness? This is bad. Bad. All this is bad. This is all bad. Cannot survive. And color complex. All white squares with सारे white square white के पास है. BD3, knight F3, rook B1, anything. This should win. Okay, you can defend the pawn B6. It is miserable. If you play something like B6, now I will play maybe here. What I can stop the knight coming. Now I think knight E2 is a good move. Queen A4 good move. This is plus minus. I will concentrate on the D5 pawn. So this is bad. So he plays knight. This is all over. Should win. Fantastic position and lot of weaknesses for black. A pawn weak, D5 weak, white squares weak. So king walk. It is a good king walk and he won the game. So especially the variation, the BF5, it is interesting to note what black overlooked Pachman, this queen check. And he thought this position is okay. It looks like that. This is okay. Because now rook is under attack. So there is queen into B2, C2 is not, this is all bad. But this unexpected check, finish. Everything is over. So I will tell you the king walk. Now the king. I will show a game of that Benko Gambit. It is not played, it's bad. D4, knight F6, C4, C5, D5, B5, CB5, A6, take. And now he plays G6. Now knight C3. Now bishop, he plays D6. Now F4, E4. No, F4. F4. Hey, एक मिनट नहीं तो बंद हो जाएगा ये. दिस इज बैड. एक बार बंद हो गया तो पूरा कनेक्शन चला जाता है. ओके, सो हियर दिस लाइन F4, bishop G7, knight F3, bishop takes pawn push. Now bishop into, now rook into. With the idea, now the king will come here, and then pawn push will come. This is all dangerous. This is all dangerous. And now if you play in the variation, suppose you make an intermediary move like bishop takes pawn now. Suppose bishop takes pawn. Then I will play knight F3. Now you play BG7, E4. Now bishop takes, rook takes. Now queen B6. Now the king comes. The king takes a walk. Now you play pawn push, the king will take a walk. Something S3 has come. I missed the move S3. Because his plan is to play S3 and slip the king somewhere. So this variation is also interesting. Interesting line. I think I will get it somewhere. CB5, A6, takes, G6. Now not knight C3. I think F4 now. Knight C3 has to come. F4, bishop takes, knight F3, pawn push. Maybe here. I think now he plays S3 maybe. S3, castle, queen B6. Now pawn push, king comes. And then the king will slip. The whole variation, I remember in the Global Chess Trust tournament at Hyderabad, I played a fantastic game. There were two tournaments. Global Chess Trust Bank organized two tournaments in Hyderabad, and it was very popular event. A lot of top players were coming. I won a brilliant game with G.N. Gopal of Andhra Pradesh, a good player, because the attack came like very fast attack. So in interesting line, the king makes a war. King coming. Or I can show you another variation of Gary Kasparov, where king comes to like a walk. Okay, let's leave that point. Hello, Vela. How are you? Good morning. So we reach a Catalan type of position. Now, if you play pawn takes pawn, white stands little better in the regular knight f3, knight c6, castle. This is known as Rubinstein variation against Taras. White little better. Now on bishop e7, knight c3, castle. Now bg5, and you have to play pawn into pawn. This is white better. This is a bad move because of knight e5. So this is a line. White stands better, regular line. Okay, he can take pawn into pawn, positional. But in this game, he decided to play with the knight. Semitaras. Semitaras line. White is a little better here. White is little better. Knight f3. Now e5. The point is, I have to solve the central problem. The pressure on the center. One, two, three is there. And if you take, you cannot count on a big advantage. So this is good move. Now if you play knight coming to d5, then knight c3 is good. The pressure, the knight and bishop putting pressure here, solving all the problem. Knight into knight, then pawn into white is having a good center. So here he plays knight e7, pawn into pawn. Now it is I will this pawn is a cramper. This pawn is cramping him completely black. Next move, my plan is simple. I want to play queen e2 and rook d1. I want to play nc3 and bf4. White has a very strong position because of the e5 pawn is a cramper. So he takes the bishop into pawn. Now coolly develop bishop. Now if he castles, I will play h4. Now the position queen e2 king's in player will be used for king's Indian attack type of structure where the pawn is a cramp or nd2. Oh, white is better here after castle h4. So black played a bad move, not good. You want to weaken the position of the castle before you castle. That means when you castle there is a problem, and black has another wrong idea to play g5 and win this pawn. Now, suppose you play here, he will sacrifice. He will open the line with pawn push. Idea, some H file will open all these things. So, he plays knight c3. Bad move. Taking the bait. Now, e5 is a bait. He is accepting. This is a very important thing to notice. Evaluation, Apollo beat Kamaski. In a such a bait, Kamaski took the pawn and suffered against Apollo. And many players in the what is that Henningsara gambit, such a pawn is given free. It's a bait. Now bishop e3, so he falls for the bait, taking the pawn. Very simple. Now he plays knight into. Now if you play knight into knight, then queen check is enough to advantage. advantage, because now if you play bishop, I am going to play queen. अब ये knight कहाँ जाए? Now it is all bad. This is now b7 मर रहा है. You can't move knight c6. कैसल विसल कुछ नहीं, खत्म हो जाए. Bishop into pawn and then rook will come to d line. ये तो very bad position. Very bad. F line is ready. I can enter queen also. I can take. I can play rd1. Very simple way. So you cannot play bd7. And if you play knight d7 is very passive. I think knight e4 is crushing at the moment. Queen a3, knight e4. Many ways to go for advantage. You can stop the castle. You can allow the castle also. This is just a bad situation. Rook d1, anything. White maintains a big edge. I should stop castle first. To stop. Then rd1 and knight d4 crush ho jayega. Now the knight is coming here. Knight is coming here to this point. Rook is coming. The bishop is watching. It's all. It is a rook is ready. ये तो गया. So you cannot play knight into knight. आप अभी knight into knight नहीं मारेंगे. So queen into queen, but the intermediary bishop check. One piece down. Hello, continue now. Huh? Continue one piece down. Hopeless position. But the whole idea, he fell into the bait. A player should not do this. Basic chess. You should just develop and castle. Should not go for all this rubbish moves. Where is the mistake has done? You can play. Now this position is not that bad. Knight into pawn is not so bad. Here. Now here, okay, you can come. This is okay. Now you can come here, knight here. You can come here, knight d5. White is little better. That's all. Now after this move, maybe you can do. You can play here. What can I do here? You should take it, because you cannot allow knight into knight, pawn into is bad, queen into is bad. You should take it. Now maybe you should. I think castle is correct now. With the idea, now pawn into pawn and knight coming there. You need to bring a bishop in the diagonal. You need to occupy the square on the. So maybe it is playable. White stands better. Technically better. But what he did was worse. So very important thing, a player should not waste time in the opening stage. Just castle quickly. Okay. Now going to the next one. ये हो गया, स्मैश लॉक का खत्म हो गया. Next I will go one more of smash lock. Hello Dawang Makwana. Okay, here rook. Now this is orthodox defense. Orthodox defense is also solid, bit passive but solid. So this is Capablanca variation, Capablanca system. Knight d5. So Alekhine's recommendation, knight e4. Want to avoid exchanges. Alekhine, of course, castle is very little advantage, but Alekhine liked this move. Idea no exchange. And queen check is nothing. You want to play f5, then you will compromise your structure. e5 weakness, e6 weakness. This is bad. So knight. So maintain. No exchange. If you give a check, it is not great. Now the position, I can play the end game also. Queen d2 and white stands better. So he plays e5. Necessary to stop that. Okay, the position you cannot free. In order to bring the bishop out, you have to move the knight. And if you move the knight, the pawn problem. And if you play, then knight d is 2, and the pressure will come on the e pawn. So you need to capture to free the bishop c8. Now queen into. Now it is not a position of IQP. For IQP, your pieces must be ready. Rook e1 must be there, and your Sian said the bishop is not playing any role. So taking an IQP is not a good idea. If you play knight b6, I think firm grip on this. One, two, three, one, two, three, and bishop and the rook, they will all join for the fight. So IQP is not desirable. Queen takes pawn. Good move. How are you going to free now? So knight b6 idea. Next move, I want to bring the bishop, complete development, and thereafter marginally better for white. But here white finds a good plan. The idea now, if you play bishop here, I want to play pressure on the position like that. So he plays king. Idea doesn't want some queen coming at right point. King. Beautifully played. I think this is a passive move. Players should complete development, but he is worried about d5, so he came queen, no king. Now black played the mechanical development so that he can coordinate the rooks and bring rook d8. How should white play now? How should white continue now? You need you need to have a eye like an eagle eye. You know that means a knight should come here with the help knight tempo and then attack. So a positional threat. Idea, I want to take your bishop and give you bad structure and do two bishop advantage. The bishop is superior than the knight in that position. Your knight is badly placed. This is a passive knight. And now, if you take tactics, if you take bishop and bishop, knight check will pick up the queen. That means you need to be vigilant about your knights against this sort of thing square. So, knight coming to d4. A tactical threat and a positional threat. Unexpected. कुछ नहीं कर सकता है. He cannot do anything. Now, big positional plus. We have got a superior minor piece and bad king situation, a weak, badly placed knight, and weak pawn. It is lost. Check all over. Even queen into queen is also plus minus. This is also plus minus. But queen on the board, even better. Now defend. Your only move. Otherwise, pawn gone. Now passive move, enter. Finish. Now the power of the pieces, passive pieces, bad king, everything is bad. Okay, if you go to f7, then rook d1, knight d4, रस हो जाएगा. Knight d4, rook c to d1, d7, I will double, knight is coming, rook d7 coming, finish. The position technically only gone. हो गया काम. Knight g5 threat. Knight g5 threat. Only you cannot allow knight. Now the game finishing up. You know, the point is that a player should focus on the weak points. Tactics and strategy go hand in hand. I would say if a player he has to first complete the basic tactical course. Otherwise, you will miss variations. One may be a big carpenter without a nail and hammer, you cannot do anything. So tactics is just a tool. So here finishing the game. I think he resigned here. He resigned probably. What is the? Did he resign? Yeah, he resigned. But anyway, there is practical zugzwang. It is a zugzwang only. Abhi, now imagine knight cannot come. So you cannot push the pawn. You cannot push this pawn. These are all losing. So where the knight is going nowhere. So it is a middle. It is like a zugzwang in middle game. And knight cannot come. Rook into knight. Knight cannot because queen is in the line. Knight cannot come. Rook into knight. So what are you going for the attack? What will you do? How are you going to defend? The position is lost only. So many threats he is giving. So he decided to give up. It's okay. So what I showed you the games of Smyslov that technically he was going strategically but not missing tactics. And notice centralization, pawn structure, improving the piece position. This is what we learned from the classical masters. Now I will tell you all the world champions and classical master will not be play match the engine strength. Okay, I should not open the Facebook, but I will show you the diagram. That is why I will show you that Sindarov's game. Please give me 1 second, 1 minute only. I cannot make the diagram, it takes a lot of time. So I will show you that Sindaro. This is the one. I hope I will make it bigger if you get possible. Array, it is bigger. वो चला गया. I have to make it minus. This one. No, no, no. I hope you can see the left diagram. I hope you can see the diagram. It is on the left. Now bishop takes pawn. Now the the c4 pawn is controlled by bishop and pawn. So how can you play bishop takes pawn? So that Sindaro was banned or action. FIDE took some action. Unbelievable. Can you see all? Can you all see the diagram on the left? Oh, video is coming. Okay, I will take a picture and I will take you. I will give you a picture and then I will come back. I will show you the diagram. Okay, just a minute. I will show you the diagram. So let's see. Just a minute here. Unbelievable. Okay, the position is I would say the king is at g1 and black king g8 and queen at e3 and queen a5 and then rooks 1 2 and 1 2 here 8 a1 and e1 or f1 and bishop e2 e3, queen is here, then bishop e2 and e3 and bishop g7 and e6. Now the pawns here 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, then 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, 7 pawns each and knights, knight and knight. This position is right. I just check once. I guess so. This is the right position. This is the right position. And who has the move? It is black to play. This is the position black to play. I will flip the board. Now, a normal player, would you believe white has any problem? Is there any problem with white pieces? White looks good. Do you agree that white looks good? Do you agree with me? Do you agree? Welcome, Adijan. Sindaro, that boy, young boy, he made a GM title in Budapest about a month back. GM title in the first Saturday tournament at Budapest. 15-year-old boy. And this position, he, Sindaro is black. And, unbelievable. Now he took bishop takes pawn. Unbelievable. So engine finds very quickly bishop takes pawn. Why? Because the rook and queen at pressure. The queen is putting pressure. The bishop is putting pressure. So bishop into pawn. Unbelievable. Now with what will you capture? Now suppose you capture like this, then you can play rook into, pawn into, knight into, and any queen move. Whatever you do, knight into. I think I have made some mistake calculation. Maybe I should I make a no, not rook into, maybe simple knight, not rook into, but knight into, and pawn into, and rook into. Now defend this. Now if you move queen into queen and rook into, now I will exchange the queen by force and take rook into pawn. That means you cannot take with the bishop. You cannot take with the bishop. And you taking with the pawn, also it turns out the same thing. It turns out the same thing. Knight into, then I will capture and the bishop is lost. You take move the queen, you take rook into, you are winning. You cannot really defend because d4 square I am watching. Suppose you take now bishop d4 will fail. I think bishop d4 maybe I will play knight into. Now knight into and now bishop into, uh, queen into, and now bishop into. Alright, rook into. This is also winning. I think miscalculation. Am I doing something wrong? Let me flip the board. Now, if you play bishop c4, this is bad because I take, and now this is the attack. How are you going to defend? Okay, I think so. This is how Birbhadra Singh. Now, Adi Jain, whose game is this? I don't know because Grandmaster Giatidino posted on the Facebook that engine finds this way immediately, and Grandmasters cannot. Now, will you think आप कोई सोचेगा बिशप इंटू पॉन मारने के लिए? There might sack on c4. Yes, there it is not easy. When normal game, a player will not think anyway. So this is just a part of the game. You can see that engine he bishop into c4. Unbelievable. कैसे भी मारो तो material जाएगा. Because the bishop is watching this, the rook is watching, the queen is watching, then rook is watching all this also. नहीं बचेगा. बीच में knight d4, knight g5, all this will come. That is a pity. Why one must use the engine? For example, everybody makes a living by doing a work job. So instead of doing a work, some people go for dacoity, stealing, dacoity. It is just like that only. In a real life, a player makes a living by bad way, bad means. So it is just also playing like that. This is bad. अभी I will tell you, छोटी छोटी बात है. अभी हमारा टाइम में जस्ट बुक्स मिलता नहीं था, और जो भी बुक मिलता था बहुत महंगा था, बहुत कॉस्टली था. इट इज नॉट अफोर्डेबल. बुक्स वाज कमिंग बाय एयर. अभी एग्जॉर्बिटेंट प्राइस. सो अभी सब लोग फोटो कॉपी लेके काम चलाते थे. तो none wrote in his book, don't do that. None wrote, not correct, don't do that. कोई सुनने वाला नहीं है. None was writing lot of books. He says, don't do, it is not correct. Okay. It cannot be preparation. You know, You cannot even preparation. One cannot do all these things. How will you know the position will come in preparation? The position it is not possible. And also, I will tell you, you can see all other games also. When a player is doing, you check his all other games also. One game, okay, preparation, but what other games? All right, I'm coming. I should not discuss this. This is not my subject, but very curious I was, so I just demonstrated. All right, going to Spassky. You know, Boris Spassky, a phenomenon in chess, a living legend. He's a living legend. Spassky is master of open lines. Chess strategy, there are five things: king position, center, open line, pawn structure, and a2 pieces. Spassky in the chess history, he survived for 30 years, 30 long years, giving gambits, king's gambit, marshal gambit, peace sacrifice, against very, very strong players and very cool attack. So, master of attack, Boris Spassky. Number one. Number two, he was the best in his time about pawn center tension. When there are, chess game, pawn tension comes very easily. In every position, Sicilian, Royal Lopez, whatever you do, central pawn tension is going to come. Spassky was a master. He was the best of his time regarding central pawn tension. कौन सा pawn किधर चाहिए? Which pawn structure is good? Which pawn structure will give attack? So he was master of attack, master of central pawn tension. Number two, master of open lines. Number three, and also he was master of timing in chess. Chess is a game of timing. When to give the sacrifice. He is coordinating. Absolutely fantastic player. Very, very rare talent. If you ask me, about attack, five best ever players in chess history, Spassky is one of them. I would consider Alekhine because original. Alekhine was the one all attacking only beginning. She showed the chess world lot of things. Alekhine. Then I would put Boris Spassky. I would put Paul Keres. I would put Leonard Stein. You know, they are great attacking players. Now modern players, that Morozovic, Siro, or there are a lot of players. Tal, of course, Tal, no doubt about it. All these are great attacking players. So the Spassky's attack was not like Tal. They are both attacking, but one goes for enjoyment. Spassky is a 20-20 player. Go for six, all the balls, 6 runs. Out hua to hua. But Spassky was not like that. He was going for force, going for slow, steady. No problem. So scientific way he was attacking. And he survived in top class chess for 30 years, giving gambits, peace sacrifices. So I will tell you, I studied Spassky's 50 games, a very small book, maybe about 30-40 pages book, written by Andrew Soltis. Best games of Spassky. That helped me a lot. So it is very important to study the master game, understand the ideas. Okay, so I don't think I have much time, so I will give an introduction about Spassky's games, and then I will go. Maybe it will take me maybe 2 days or 3 days about only Spassky. Great player. It is worth it. I will enjoy teaching. I will enjoy also. You will learn. So here, let us see some of games of Spassky, model games. So center. There are good move. E3 good move. E4 good move. So Spassky was a classical player. He was not compromising with the principle. Classical player. Knight f3. So very simple. Castle. Now knight c3. Queen e2. Rook d1. It's a bad move. You know, if a player makes one bad move in open game, he will come into deep trouble. So it was better to play knight c6. So here bishop e7, bad move. Recovering the pawn. We reached an IQP. That means all the time the threat should be watched. You know IQP, when the pawn advances, it will be very good. Now I am giving a threat. So he plays knight. Idea, now the square in front of IQP is now important. This is IQP. So he has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means I am going to block. And after that you have nothing. Then bishop e7, castle. Systematically white black will start exchanging pieces. But d5. Excellently played. You have to take it. Now 5 are there. Now if you play a normal looking move, absolutely no problem. If you play like a move like bishop g5, you will play nd5. I don't see white can now really do anything. Bishop e7, castle is coming, and now rook c8 will come. Everything is in black's way. Everything is in black's way. But he will not get time. d5. Open. लेना तो पड़ेगा. लेना पड़ेगा. लिया. Now suddenly, now I want to hit bishop into winning a material. Now pawn is pinned, knight is pinned. The bishop is pinning and the rook is pinning. I want to give a threat. I want to give a threat. Forced bishop into knight. If you take with the bishop, you lose a piece. You take with the bishop, one piece is gone. So the only move. Oh yeah, come. Now pawn tension. Abhi king is in trouble. Number one. And now open the position. Take. Forced. Take. Forced. Now fracture pawns. Now this is the knight is the boss. It will come here with the threat. With the threat. Knight. No castle. You castle, piece gone. You castle, piece gone. You have to move. Unfortunately, king has to go away. The only move. Threatening queen h5, queen h6. So you have to stop queen h5. Now, 1, 2, 3. Rook into, queen into, rook into pawn. Check. Mate threat and queen threat. Threat number 1 and threat number 2. I will tell you, 1955 onwards, the two players were coming very rapidly. Who are the two players? Mikhail Tal and Boris Spassky. In Soviet Union, two youngsters, they were hitting very strong players of their time, and both were getting top and brilliant games. That means both were now potential world champions. But Tal's speed was too much. He won the zone. He won that state championship. Riga. Riga was a very strong chess city. Riga country. I mean, Latvia he won. Riga he won. Then he USSR championship he won. Then he went to zonal and went to interzonal. He won the interzonal. Then he went to candidates. He won the candidates. Then he beat Botvinnik. It is like non-stop. It is like a non-stop. At the age of 23, he won the world championship, a record. But Spassky was not going like that. He was doing, but not at the speed of Tal. So Spassky was developing interestingly, and 1960 onwards, Spassky is became a potential candidate for world championship. 1966, he became a challenger by beating candidate cycle 3 strong grandmaster in match. He became a challenger, but he lost to Petrosian because simply he could not adapt to the style of Petrosian, negative style. Spassky was attacking, but Petrosian was exchanging pieces and going creepingly, taking his draws. So Spassky could not cope up and lost the match. Petrosian became world champion second time. Then Spassky has to go again through a candidate cycle. But this time the candidate matches were tougher. So Spassky beat Geller, and I think he beat Korchnoi and Tal. You know, Spassky in the candidate cycle he beat Geller. Then problem was then he meet Korchnoi. Then Korchnoi he beat. Then he meet Tal. That was the most difficult of. But Tal, Spassky used psychology. Now the main problem in the match, how to handle the black pieces. So Spassky knew Tal is a great attacking player. So he attacked the attacker only. Attack is the best defense. So he used Marshall Gambit. Marshall Gambit, lot of active play. And in those days, there was no computer, not much data. So because of the attack, the games were dissolved, draw, draw, draw. So Spassky handled the black pieces, Marshall attack, Marshall Gambit, then draws. And white side he won. So he finally met Petrosian second time. This time he beat him the match because psychologically he was more ready. He analyzed the mistakes of the first match and he took advice of Botvinnik and some other friends, you know, and then Spassky beat and became the world champion. He was physically very strong. He was a voracious tennis player. So he was physically absolutely fit. And for attack and defense, you need to calculate a lot of variation very quickly. Because of good nerves, he was very good in calculation and very good in his conception of attack. So this was some games I will show, and his games helped me. And what I think in the publication test stars, Khalifman has annotated 300 games of Spassky. Okay, I liked the short, simple, small book on Boris Spassky, beautiful book. That also helped me a lot. Now let us see some games. While I was preparing for the lecture yesterday night, I saw some games. I enjoyed it. But today, if I had seen that long back, when I saw yesterday, I found lot of new ideas. What an amazing player he was. Okay, let's see some more, two, three more model games. I'll take you. Any question? उसकी जैसे ओपनिंग में स्लोली डेवलप करता है, पोजिशनल प्ले करता है, जैसे उसका स्ट्रेंथ भी ऐसे ही बात था धीरे धीरे. हाँ, he was having a sound positional base, a classical style, but you never know when he will sacrifice a piece. That was the problem. Many grandmaster could not cope up. Sudden sacrifice comes, and once he sacrifices, it is all over. I don't know. Some grandmaster told about Fisher told him, Fisher, that when Spassky sacrifices a piece, you never know it is a blunder or a fantastically calculated sacrifice. You never know it is a blunder or a fantastically calculated, deeply calculated sacrifice. Fisher said this. Okay, let's see a classical game. I will take you. Fisher. Maybe this is a good model game. I will come to the other games. A glimpse of Spassky style. In the prestigious match USSR versus the rest of the world, I mean 10 top players of Russia and 10 best players of the remaining players of world. Match was arranged in 1970. In that, I mean, Spassky was the first board and Larsen was the first board. Fischer agreed. That was really a surprise. Fischer has a terrific ego. Then Fischer agreed to play because Fischer was hungry for playing chess. So he did not play for 3 4 years. Strong tournaments. So he wanted to play at any cost. So he agreed to take the second board. Normally he does not agree. Then he once asked him, Sir, you are such a great player. How can you play second board? Fisher answered, I myself am surprised. How did I accept the second board? So here it comes B3. Larsen opening. Larsen plays the Larsen opening. In fact, it is not bad. It is good. There is other way to play D5. D5, BB2, now C5. And now you can play knight F3. Then I can play knight here. You can play bishop G4. This is another plan. This is another plan. And then E6. And then I play knight F6, bishop castles. This is a one setup. The other setup, in this game, here Petrosian played the move knight F3 is a bad move. You should play E3. This is the correct move. This is the correct move. Why this is NF3 is bad? Fischer punished Petrosian by playing F6. Now, center. You play D4, I take center. You play knight into, and then black has the better center. And Fischer went on to win the game. So here, it is important not to play NF3, but play E3. E3, and then knight C6, knight F3, bishop D4, and the game will continue. But in Spassky's game, second set, he played here E5. Now knight. Actually, modern theory, they suggest this simple D6. Now E3, then they play G6, knight F3, bishop G7. Then pawn D4, third attack on this. Then they play here knight E7. Then pawn into pawn, then knight coming, attack. 1, 2, 3, I will recover the pawn. You can't take it. Then bishop into B2 and bishop into rook. Now, after B2, whatever, I can take the pawn. I can recover, and black has a good game. Or black can also play here. Black can also play here a move like F5. And pawn takes pawn, I can come here and take the pawn. This is also a good position, a good structure. But in the game, Spassky was a classical player. His own conception. He goes center. Now center. Just develop. Just develop. Center. Tempo. Open line. Now this suits the Spassky style. Now the bishop is open. This is open. This bishop is there. The queen is ready. The pawn is controlling. So this is what helps Spassky to have a lot of open line and active side. I think this is bad move. You should not play move like this. You should rather play something like A3, Queen C2, knight development. This is creating a chronic weakness. Now, if you play D4, takes, and white black stands little better. Tempo, black stands little better because already I am in the file. Already I am in the file, and after you castle, knight E4 will come with a good game. Okay, in this position, this is how he should play. Why black is good but not winning. But here he played a bad move. Instead of playing D4, a bad move. No more D4 will come. Now D4 is not possible anymore. The backward pawn. 1, 2, 3. Backward pawn. So no D4. But he played another bad move. F4. This is really bad. Now I will tell you, a player will not expect that such a move can be punished very quickly. So Spassky played here, amazing move. Now I want to give a positional threat. Check, then pawn here, queen will enter. With the idea, the queen will enter to d2, giving trouble. What are you going to do? Now if you play knight there, I will play queen check. Check. Now you there, queen move. You cannot castle. Exchange chala jayega. You cannot castle. And now I want to enter. I want to enter, give trouble. So already he is feeling the heat. And now pressure. These two pieces are putting pressure. You know, these two pieces are putting pressure here. So to avoid the check, Larsen played G3. Now another brilliant. I want to play H4 and open the line. H4 pawn into open the line. So Larsen played naturally. A bolt from the blue, a shocking move, giving a piece. Black is giving a piece, ignoring. Take my knight. Now the bishop is attacked. One piece gone. Take my bishop. Now rook is attacked. So you cannot allow. Then rook will join the attack. So you have to move. Now already a piece down. And second piece is under attack. Already black is a piece down. And second piece under attack. Master of open line. Now, what is asking? Dr. Senapati, good morning. Now another shocking rook. A piece down, already second piece under attack, he offers the rook. Because the pawn will enter 7th rank and making road for queen. Takes forced rather. If you play rook coming here, it will check will finish. The check and this will finish. Or maybe here this will finish. Rather more forcing. Cannot defend that rook. A new queen is coming. So you cannot go. You have to play rook coming to f1. Check. I am not interested in the rook. Because after king moves, now pawn into takes and the queen will come. You cannot come. Checkmate. I mean this checkmate. So you cannot come. Lost position. So here itself he resigned. After the move check and there pawn into he resigned. Because after pawn into the queen is coming, unstoppable mating attack. Or you can choose to play bishop into this is also and this queen check. This is also crossing. Whatever you do. So what a game! Because you will not find in chess history such games as vigorous attack. You can find lot of attacking game when opponent is weak. I mean, it was 2600 player playing a 1700 player. There is no match. You can attack, give anything. But Larsen, world number 2 that time, world number maybe top 5 that time, and beating in such a strong grand style. Yeah. So these are just a model game. So I will tell you, Spassky defeated Garry Kasparov 3 games. When Kasparov was ruling the world, Spassky beat him 3 solid games. But when Spassky became old, Kasparov beat him 2 games. Spassky made a comment. He beat him 3 solid games, but when Spassky old, he beat him. Then Spassky told he was eating my old meat. Spassky said about it is lost. He said Kasparov was eating my old meat. So I, I also a great player, great attacking player, genius. Now one more model game. I want to at a time. हो गया है. So I will continue with the games of Spassky. It may take me 3-4 sessions because I found it so beautiful. I don't want to pass quickly. I want to give more time to a game because if I go faster, maybe you will not grasp some points. So even though it will take time, I want to go a little slower and explain to you the strategy and tactical points. Spassky's game. Then Karpov's games, the Tal's games, it will take me more time. So next is a lot of beautiful game. I selected so many games, so many games of Saskia I saw last night. Okay, friends, I will see you back at 2:30 for Saskia's more games. And तब तक सबको मेरा नमस्कार. Take care. Bye.